Luke from Chattanooga, Tennessee hit me and said, I know you saw the Jeremy Pruitt stuff. So let me ask you a better question. How much of that $100 million will Pruitt see, if any, from this lawsuit against the NCAA? Well, Luke, let's not just assume that everyone has seen this news. But he's right. Jeremy Pruitt today has filed a lawsuit. $100 million, nice, round, even number. Good for him for not going north of a $100 million lawsuit against the NCAA. Backstory. Jeremy Pruitt, once upon a time, longtime defensive coordinator, head coach at Tennessee, and then some things happened with some McDonald's bags, etc. Whomst amongst us hasn't seen that play out that way. And he gets fired, and 6-year show cause, and it was a big scandal. A big to-do, as Meemaw would say. Well, Jeremy Pruitt has sort of, been out there in the desert for a little while, and not many people have heard from him. And now today you heard from him again. Do we have that Dellinger tweet? Basically, the synopsis of it, so I don't have to read the entire lawsuit on the air for you, is that Pruitt is filing a $100 million lawsuit in damages. Here's the language from the Dellinger tweet. Former Tennessee coach Jeremy Pruitt has sued the NCAA in DeKalb County, Alabama, claiming the association conspired with Tennessee to make him the sacrificial lamb for rules violations, resulting in his firing and 6-year show cause. He's claiming $100 million in lost wages. So there Jeremy Pruitt is in DeKalb County, Alabama, surviving off beans and weenies, basically, and suing for $100 million in lost wages. If you're thinking that's a big number, it is, but if you extrapolate out the, presumably 4 or 5 years now that he would have still been a head coach, bold to assume, and then the 6 years following that, you're taking 11 years of lost wages away from head coach in major college football where they're making $9 or $10 million a year or more. Yeah, it's reasonable if Jeremy Pruitt would have remained a head coach for a decade that he could have made that much. I think it goes without saying that is a massive all caps if. But follow me here, because let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free, it doesn't sign you up for anything, and it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. Jeremy Pruitt, let's be real. We're telling the truth tonight. Jeremy Pruitt doesn't need $100 million. Jeremy Pruitt needs that show cause dropped. And so Jeremy Pruitt walked into court, or his representation, in DeKalb County, Alabama, and said, we want $100 million. What they really want is a negotiated settlement that erases that show cause so Jeremy Pruitt can go back to coaching football. Probably not as a head coach, but definitely as a defensive coordinator somewhere. Because here's the thing about Jeremy Pruitt. Right now, he can't do anything. But if that show cause were to be dropped, Jeremy Pruitt would be employed tomorrow because he is still a heck of a defensive mind. And Jeremy Pruitt is a guy who, although there's a stigma around him right now for obvious reasons, the moment that show cause was dropped, no one would care. The stigma around Jeremy Pruitt has to do with allegedly doing things that are totally illegal now, or, in a roundabout way. Obviously not the exact mechanisms they allegedly used there, but paying players is legal now. No one cares. Even if he's guilty of all the things that they alleged that he was guilty of, no one cares. If I need a big-time name, if I need a big-time presence as my defensive coordinator, I'm hiring Jeremy Pruitt tomorrow, maybe by the end of today. So my feel, Luke, was that I don't think they believe they'll see any of this $100 million. I do think they believe if they're aggressive enough, public sentiment will be on their side and they can get into a settlement portion of this where the NCAA says, we're not paying you $100 million. How about we erase the show cause? And Pruitt goes, that's all I wanted. And his representation says, send us the papers. They sign it. And then Jeremy Pruitt's coaching ball again next year. I think that's what they want. It would not shock me if they got it.